Ladies, let me tell you something hard but real. A man who truly cares will change. And the one who doesn't will disappear behind silence. Silence is not confusion. Silence is not patience. Silence is your answer. Stop decoding dry texts and dead energy. A man's silence is louder than his promises. And if he's not speaking with action, he's already spoken with avoidance. This isn't love with mixed signals. Is you convincing yourself to stay unloved. Change does not come from pressure. It comes from genuine care. If a man truly cares about you, you won't have to beg him to be better. You won't have to write paragraphs explaining how you feel only to get one-line replies. You won't have to repeat yourself like a broken record, hoping he finally listens. Because a man who cares doesn't need a loud alarm to wake up to your worth. Real love is not built on convincing someone. It's built on connection. When he cares deeply, change becomes effortless. Not because it's easy, but because you matter that much. Think about it. Have you ever seen someone hold a fragile glass in their hand? They hold it differently, more carefully, more consciously. That's how a man who truly values you handles your heart. Gently, intentionally. But a man who only tolerates you will require 100 reminders and still do the bare minimum. You'll write out your heart thinking maybe this time he'll understand. But deep down, he understood the first time. He just didn't care enough to act. Pressure leads to performance, not transformation. You might guilt him into saying the right things for a while, acting better temporarily. But forced change doesn't last. The moment you stop pressuring him, he snaps back like a rubber band. Because it wasn't rooted in love, it was rooted in fear of losing you, and fear never builds anything sustainable. Let's take a simple daily life example. Imagine you're hosting someone at your home. If that person loves being there, they'll offer to help clean, take their shoes off without being asked, respect your space, naturally. But if they're just staying out of convenience, you'll find yourself constantly reminding them, please don't make a mess. Please be on time. Please show some respect. You're not running a home anymore. You're running a hotel with no gratitude. That's exactly what being with the wrong man feels like. When love is real, effort flows freely. When love is fake, you become a manager, not a partner. A man who cares will notice what hurts you, even in the silence. You won't have to scream to be seen. He'll sense your shift in tone, the hesitation in your text, the quiet in your eyes. Why? Because when someone truly values you, they listen to everything, not just your words, but your energy. That's when you know his change isn't for show. It's from the soul. Pressure is exhausting. You're not his life coach. You're his woman. It's not your job to mother him into maturity. You can encourage him, yes. You can inspire him, sure. But if he doesn't want it for himself, nothing you say will make it stick. Love doesn't demand that you lose yourself while trying to fix someone else. Ask yourself this: did he change because he saw your pain or because he feared your absence? If it's the first, his love is real. If it's the second, he's only adjusting to avoid consequences, not because he actually understands. A man will rearrange his entire day to meet with the person he respects. He'll change plans, adjust routines, break habits. Why? Because it's not about being perfect. It's about prioritizing what he doesn't want to lose. And if you're always the one adjusting while he's always just being who he is, that's not love. That's laziness dressed up as authenticity. Change is the fruit of love. Not words, not promises, not guilt. If he truly cares, you won't need to twist yourself into pieces to be heard. He'll change. Not because he has to, but because he wants to. Silence is not confusion. Silence is not he's thinking. Silence is not a glitch in the system of love. Silence is a decision. A loud, clear, and intentional decision. When someone chooses not to speak, not to show up, not to explain, that in itself is the explanation. But most people miss that. They think maybe he's busy. Maybe he's unsure. Maybe he's just overwhelmed. No. He's silent because he's choosing to be. And that's not a mistake, it's a message. It's not a pause, it's a position. We live in a world where ghosting has become normal, where not replying is somehow seen as acceptable, and where people are left hanging in emotional limbo. But silence isn't harmless. It's heavy. It keeps you awake at night, refreshing your phone screen, rehearsing what you said, questioning your worth. You start reading between the lines of texts that never came. You create dialogues in your head just to make sense of his disappearance. But the truth is, his silence is the closure. He just didn't have the courage to give it to you with words. Let's talk real life. Imagine calling someone you love for days and they never call back. You post something vulnerable online, hoping maybe he'll reach out, but all you get is seen and silence. You convince yourself maybe he's just processing, maybe he needs time, but deep down, you know if someone values you, they don't leave you drowning in doubt. Imagine giving someone the most sacred parts of your soul, and when you need just 1 ounce of clarity, they give you nothing. That's not absence. That's avoidance. That's not time to think. It's time taken to escape responsibility. Picture this. You're standing outside in the rain, holding an umbrella for someone who refuses to come out. They see you. They know you're there. They know you're waiting. But they still stay inside. That's what silence feels like. You're exposed, vulnerable, hoping they'll step forward. But the more time passes, the clearer it becomes. They're not coming. And in that moment, you realize silence wasn't an accident. It was his answer. Words are a choice. Effort is a decision. Energy is intentional. If he wanted to talk to you, he would. If he cared enough to keep you, he would have spoken up before you broke down. We make the mistake of romanticizing silence, thinking it's deep. But no, silence is often just emotional neglect, wearing a suit and tie. He's not silent because he's mysterious. He's silent because you're not a priority. And that truth stings, but it also sets you free. Think about customer service. If you call a business and they don't respond after multiple attempts, what do? You stop calling. You move on to another service that treats your call like it matters. Yet in relationships, we wait endlessly for someone who already made the decision not to answer. We treat their silence like a mystery to be solved instead of a truth to be accepted. Some of the most painful goodbyes are not spoken. They're chosen. Chosen by silence. Chosen by neglect. Chosen by absence. When someone goes quiet, don't raise your voice. Raise your standards. Because silence is not softness. It's not kindness. It's not patience. It's the sound of someone who had the chance to show up for you and didn't. And that right there is never a mistake. It's a mirror, a reflection of their heart. And the longer you wait in their silence, the more you delay your own healing. If he wanted to, he would. It's not just a quote, it's the cold truth, dressed in clarity. A man's actions are not powered by confusion or timing, but by desire and intention. When a man truly wants something, you'll see it in how he moves. You'll hear it in his tone. You'll feel it in how present he becomes. The man who says, "I'm just not ready," while giving energy to everything else, is not confused. He's just not choosing you. Harsh, maybe, but liberating, absolutely. Because once you stop chasing excuses, you start recognizing effort. Look at how men behave when they want to buy the newest iPhone. They'll pre-order it, stand in line for hours, budget for it, talk about it for days. Why? Because they want it. And that want fuels action. The same man who tells you he's too busy to call is gaming with his boys until 2 a.m., scrolling endlessly and responding to other people's messages with full energy. Don't fall for the illusion of life is hard. Life is hard for everyone. But we all make time for what we prioritize. If he wanted to, he would. He'd call. He'd show up. He'd explain. He'd choose you with the same boldness you've been begging him for. Effort is never hidden. When a man wants a job, he updates his resume, shows up early, wears his best suit, and presents himself like the position is his future. Why? Because he wants it. He doesn't ghost the company. He doesn't take 3 days to reply to emails. He doesn't tell the manager, "I'm not sure what I want right now." No, he goes after it. So why is it in relationships we let a man say, "I'm just taking it slow," while he's fully sprinting after other things in life? When a man wants you, it's not just about words. It's about consistency. You don't have to wonder if you get consistency. You don't have to wonder, you don't have to question. He'll make you feel safe, not sorry. He'll put effort into learning you, loving you, showing up for you. Not just when it's convenient, but especially when it's not. Love is not about perfection. It's about presence. And when someone wants you, their presence becomes louder than their excuses. Think of something as simple as a text. A good morning takes 5 seconds. A thinking of you takes 3 words. A quick check-in doesn't require Wi-Fi from heaven. It requires heart. A man who wants you doesn't just speak, he communicates. He doesn't just apologize, he adjusts. He doesn't just miss you, he makes sure you know you're missed. If he wanted to see you, he wouldn't be waiting for the stars to align. He'd move mountains to make it happen. You're not asking for too much. He's just asking the wrong person. The right one won't make you feel like your standards are pressure. He'll see your standards as a map guiding him into your heart. The wrong one will treat your boundaries like walls. The right one will see them as doors, ways to prove he's worthy of entering. If he wanted to, he would. He'd stop hurting you with the same habits. He'd learn how to love you better, not because he's forced, but because he fears losing you more than he fears change. Every day, people prioritize what matters. Parents wake up early for their kids. Employees hustle for promotions. Athletes train through pain. That same effort belongs in love. If he's not giving you that, he's giving you his truth. His lack of effort isn't forgetfulness. It's a form of honesty. A quiet way of telling you, I don't value this enough to protect it. The moment you realize this is the moment you stop fighting for someone who isn't fighting for you. The moment you realize this is the moment you stop fighting for someone who isn't fighting for you. The moment you realize this is the moment you stop fighting for someone who isn't fighting for you. The moment you realize this is the moment you stop fighting for someone who isn't fighting for you. Once it's working, they drive away without a thank you. That's what it's like loving a man who refuses to take ownership of his emotional baggage. You keep showing up with a full heart while he brings nothing but weight. And when he finally feels stable, he leaves like you were just a pit stop on his way to better roads. You deserve love, not labor, support, not sacrifice. A relationship should be a partnership, not a project. If every conversation turns into therapy, every moment feels like damage control, and every argument ends with you apologizing just to keep the peace, you are no longer his partner. You've become his emotional crutch. And the sad truth is, he's not healing. He's just depending on your strength so he doesn't have to grow his own. A man who truly wants to be better will seek help, not just help himself, to your energy. He will read, reflect, ask questions, sit with discomfort, and take steps toward real change. But if he's constantly saying, that's just how I am, or you knew what you signed up for, he's not trying to evolve. He's trying to excuse his damage. And your love, no matter how pure, cannot outwork someone's refusal to try. Even in family life, we understand boundaries. When a child is sick, the parents care for them. But what do responsible parents eventually do? They take the child to a doctor. They don't just keep giving them painkillers without treating the real issue. So why is it in relationships, women keep offering emotional medicine without demanding that the man gets real treatment for his trauma? You are not less loving for having limits. You are not selfish for wanting peace. And you are not cold for choosing yourself when his chaos becomes your daily reality. Healing is beautiful, but only when both people are doing the work. If you're the only one bleeding and bandaging at the same time, then you're not in love, you're in emotional servitude. The truth is, you were never meant to fix him. You were meant to love someone who was already committed to fixing himself. And now I want you to breathe for a moment, not just in your lungs, but in your spirit. Because everything you just heard wasn't just words, it was your awakening. You've been loving from a place of hope while living in a reality of silence. You've been loyal in rooms where you were left unseen, unheard, and unloved. But here's what you must understand. Love is not what you feel, it's what you experience consistently. You were not born to shrink into a version of yourself that makes others comfortable. You are not too emotional. You are emotionally intelligent. You are not asking for too much. You've just been giving too much to someone offering too little. And the moment you stop begging for basic love is the moment you unlock the kind of love that doesn't need explanations, reminders, or repair. Listen carefully. When a man truly cares, you won't have to perform to be chosen. You won't have to audition for consistency. He will show up, not because you begged, but because he recognizes the value of your presence. If he truly wants to be better, he will get better. Not tomorrow, not when it's convenient, but right now. Because men who love in maturity don't wait to lose you before they change. They change so they never have to lose you. They change so they never have to lose you. They change so they never have to lose you. You know who benefits from a change? Many above. They change forever together. They change so they never have to lose you. They change so they never have to lose you. They change so they never have to lose you. They change so they never have to lose you. Let me say this louder for the woman who's still battling her doubts. Your silence is not weakness. Your boundaries are not bitterness. And your decision to walk away is not failure, it's freedom. You gave chances. You prayed. You stayed. You healed what you didn't break. And now it's your time to rise, not for revenge, but for resurrection. The rebirth of the woman who finally remembered who the hell she is. You don't lose a good man by demanding respect. You only lose the wrong one, who was hiding behind charm. A man who deserves your soul won't run from accountability. He'll rise because of it. A man who sees your worth won't punish you with silence. He'll protect your peace. And a man who loves you will never let your pain echo in unanswered messages, inconsistent effort, or emotional distance. You are not a rehab center for broken intentions, inconsistent effort, or emotional distance. You are not a rehab center for broken intent. You are a cathedral of purpose, built from prayers, pain, and power. So stop chasing men who can't even chase their own potential. Stop begging for closure from people who were never open in the first place. And stop revisiting places that left you with nothing but questions. Because sometimes the silence is the answer and the exit. Don't wait for him to value you in your absence. Make him remember you in your elevation. You see, when you walk away with grace, you leave behind a silence louder than any words. And in that silence, he'll feel the weight of what he lost. That's not revenge. That's revelation. So rise. Rise from every ignored message. Rise from every sleepless night. Rise from every time you silenced your truth to keep the peace. Because now, you don't need him to change. You've changed. You've evolved. And when you glow with self-worth, the same man who stayed silent will start whispering your name to a God he ignored while you were praying for him to act right. They thought you'd break, but solitude didn't shatter you. It sculpted you. You became a woman who walks in purpose, not in pain. A woman who finally stopped asking, why won't he change? And started declaring, watch me transform. Because when you stop settling, the world starts adjusting. And when you stop begging, destiny starts blessing. You are no longer asking for effort. You are requiring presence. You are no longer hoping he chooses you. You are choosing you. And in that decision, your power is reborn. Welcome home, Queen.